So one morning somebody came with a gun. So here's what it was. I had no clue, not even a tiny clue, not even a minuscule clue what video games were. I mean, I knew what Atari was, but now it was Nintendo. And I'd started off with a video store, VHS, but then people said, you've got to start carrying video games. So I found out what they were, and they were so expensive to buy them wholesale, brand new, that I thought, well, and I found out that, they pretty much can withstand the test of time and whatever, and they last a long time. So I took out an ad in a local paper and said, I'll buy used video games. People started coming in with their used video games. So I would take those video games and I'd buy them like for whatever and sell them. But then someone that I knew by the name of Bill, an older man, older than me, much older with a lot of experience out there in the world, told me you need to start trading. I said, what do you mean trading? What am I going to trade? He says, this is what you do. You buy like brand new video games, which is what I did. I bought 50 Super Nintendo Street Fighter II video games as soon as they came out. And they were $50 each. It was a lot of money. It was $2,500 back then. I think it was 1989 or 1990. It was early on. And then I let people know that they could bring in their video games used and trade them for the new game. They would give me like $20 or $30 or something, along with a whole bunch of games to get that game that cost me $50. So I sold out like really fast. And all of a sudden now they would bring me like 10 Turbo 64 games and mixture Sega Genesis, Nintendo, some Super Nintendo, not much because they were just coming out. Anyway, they'd bring me whatever. They would bring me 10 games, 5 games, 15 games, just whatever they had. And then a little bit of cash, $20, $30. I did not even take credit cards in those days. That's how long ago this was. I mean, you could, but I didn't. Anyway, so then all of a sudden I would have this inventory of all these games. So my 50 Super Nintendo games turned into literally hundreds and hundreds of games. So then I really started getting into trading. I was not really into buying, even though I said I'll buy, sell, or trade. Really got into the buying because you could take, okay, so here's the thing. So I'd buy one of those games for $50, right? I think that's how much they were. Someone would give me 20, so now I have $30 invested in the game. $30 invested, and now I've got 15, say, games that I could sell for $15 each. So my $30 investment, originally $50, but now $30 investment, now was potentially worth about $225. I liked that. Wouldn't you like that? It was like so good. And it was a win-win. Everybody was happy. So people would come in, and all of a sudden, because I really got into this, I had this huge inventory of video games. So I would send people out to swap meets with boxes of video games, and they would sell my video games for me. Again, and there was no inventory control in those days. So I'm imagining that we were all profiting pretty well. I mean, I was doing well. I'm guessing the guys working for me were probably also doing pretty well. Anyway, and they would bring me my money on Monday morning or whatever the next day was. And, it was like there would be stacks of cash in those days. Oh, it was so exciting. So then I had, but I was very, like I am, I was always kind of really buttoned up about things. So I was very, I was very methodical about the way I would do the trading and trying to figure out how much can I sell these for. And I had a guy working for me. His name was Dean. He's a big Korean-American guy. He was a little bit, probably about 10 years younger than me actually at the time. Well, at any time. Big, husky guy. He kind of looked like, the cartoon Deputy Dog. He always looked like that, but he was the funniest guy. He was so good, so smart. Really smart. He knew how to negotiate to the point that when somebody would come in, that we started doing comic books too. They could trade comic books, video games, CDs. It didn't matter, any kind of media. I would go hide in the back room and let him do the negotiations, because he was. I just couldn't do it, and I'd hear him out there. He'd say, "Okay, Lowell's going to kill me, but here's what I can do." Oh my God! Those kind of words would never come. I'm not good at that kind of thing, but he was. Anyway, so then, so we would buy, sell, and trade. Whatever. I'm getting right to the end of the story. Mostly because I really loved Dean. He was a great guy. So one morning, somebody came with a gun. I wasn't there. Dean was there. And they stuck it like right in his stomach when he was opening the store. And they said, we want whatever they wanted out of the store. And so he fumbled on purpose with the gate, and the metal door in the back. And then while he was doing that, the alarm somehow went off. I don't know how he pulled that off, but I guess if you opened the gate a little bit and then didn't have the door open and turn off the alarm, then the alarm would go off. So the alarm went off and scared these guys off. Then I come down there and he's telling me what happened. I'm, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I said, well, take the day off. That was good that way. Take the day off. I was young. Take the day off. So he takes the day off, and he comes back later that day, and I said, how are you? What happened? We didn't have cell phones or anything back then. He goes, well, I went to church. I got down on my knees, and I thanked the Lord for sparing my miserable life. That was Dean. Oh my God, I felt so bad. Anyway, so we ended up, within a couple of weeks, I closed the store. We had like a big sale, and I sold as much inventory as I could, and then moved everything to, and opened a store up down in Palm Springs. And then a few months later, I started law school because I thought that this wasn't for me anymore. Oh, but the trading got into my blood, which is, I don't trade now, but now I do whatnot, where I auction off sterling silver jewelry. That's like my, I know it's a weird segue, but that's kind of my meditation from being a lawyer. It's like, and it's kind of the same thing. I get the same sort of adrenaline rush. When they close, I never even really look at how much something sells for. I just like the action of the bidding, because that's kind of fun. And then in the side, there's comments. So there's always like lively comments going on. So I like interact with everybody when they're commenting, and then it's built. You build up this kind of community, wonderful community there. I'll get into all this in another video. I just thought this would be kind of a fun one. So, since this is Steiger Stories, what the heck? Okay, it's a story. Okay, you guys, thanks. Subscribe if you want. Make a comment if you've had similar experiences. I don't know. Just enjoy. Okay, bye.